Hi everybody. I thought maybe it'd be fun to show you how I actually do this. And I pull the colors out. You've seen all the color that I have. And I just pull them out, the 3-inch strips, and cut pieces off of it until I find the color, until I have the color palette I want, which is a really random thing. Don't think that I plan this out, because I don't. Okay, I thought I'd put the black and white stripe in the middle. So I line it up and I try to make sure the lines are straight. And now piece number 2. So that's this bright orange. And I don't know if you can see it through there, but I always have a bright light right next to me. I have terrible eyes, so I always have a light so that I can see where things line up. Trim all the threads as I go. I know a lot of people don't trim threads, but then they end up with this cobweb of threads at the end, and I don't do that. I make sure that they're just meticulously cut as I go, and then they don't get in the way. Okay, I'm not gonna iron these. I thought I was, but I'm trying to do just a really short little tape here about how you do this, so I'll just finger press. Fold that one over so it's right facing outward, and the next piece goes on. Iron on the other side, it's all black and white. See, it's easy to pull these off as you go. Normally I do 16 blocks at a time, so I'd be chain stitching these and then pulling them off one by one and trimming them. And then start over with the next piece on 16 of them. These are really powerful colors. I know that a lot of you like neutrals, and that's just fine. I just am hooked on color. I have a lot of pattern material, and I have been using Kona cotton lately to try to make things in solid colors, and I'm struggling a little bit with that. I can do it with all these pattern ones, but for some reason when I pull out all the, just solid colors, I find myself overthinking it, so I'm trying not to do, but I'm getting better. This is going to go a lot longer than a minute that you anticipated. I'm going as fast as I can, but it takes a little time.
Yeah. If you want to see easier close-up tutorial on our link tree on the tube, we have a paper piecing 101, and you can see up close and personal exactly.
Well, my whole objective is to let people know that it's easy to make these little miniatures. And if you look at the reviews of some of my patterns, you'll see that people are reviewing and saying, she's right, it's easier when they're small. And it's true, these big pieces of material that you have to try to hold up and sew into place and measure accurately. And this is pretty much like paint by number. It's very easy, all your points match. And you're dealing with smaller pieces of material, so it's not
a great way to use up those scraps of this and that.
Oh yeah, these are all scraps here, especially the black and white. The black and white was from something else I was just working on. And I had just the right size piece. You don't use much material for these, so I just cut out a chunk, usually about 1 inch wide, and trim off the rest. And when I trim things at the end of the day, sometimes I have scraps even from something small that I can keep and use on the next project. Okay, Jay, I think I got most of it done. I'm going to teach Jay how to do this. We started talking about this the other day, and he doesn't know how to do it. He asks the right questions and things, but he hasn't done this yet, so I think I'm going to make a video where I teach him how to do it.
If she can teach me to do it, she could teach anybody else to do it.
Okay, let me see if I can iron my little thing here. I turned my iron on, I think. I've had this little iron and this little tiny ironing board thing for about 40 years. They have served me well. Sorry, I'm not sitting in my usual place, so my iron is not where it is supposed to be. Okay. And there it is.
Look how clean and tight all those corners and points and everything else are.
Well, the points come out right. That's
Yeah.
the big thing. When
And
you're a
then-
quilt maker, the points are just everything. And if they're off, you're the only one that sees it, but it will drive you crazy. In fact, for all you internet sleuths, we put up a little video yesterday, and in the quilt, there was a finished quilt that I showed, and after I was done, I looked at that quilt and I kept thinking there's something wrong there. And there's one block that's in there upside down, maybe two, I'll have to look again. But I'm not taking it apart to fix it. I'm gonna go with what the Amish women say, that only God can create perfection, so they build a little imperfection.
You have to have a little frolic in there.
That's right. Cotton frolic.
That's right. So
Okay,
there's a.
and there it is. And then here it is in a 1-inch size. But that shows you the difference between the 1.5-inch block that's in all of our patterns. And I got Jay to go back and go through all of them and put a little 1-inch block in too, because you can make miniatures for like doll houses. It's a perfect 1/12 scale.
Yay.
Anyway, there are two of them.
Thanks, everybody. Happy quilting.
Thank you.